And the floor is yours.
Thank you. Yeah, great to be here. Thank you, everybody, for joining. I'm actually not going to go for a product demo today, but what I am going to do is talk about sort of SourceFlow and what we do and the value that we provide to the customers that we support. So we won't show you any tech, but we are more than happy to set something up post this session to be able to show you exactly what it is that SourceFlow do and why so many sort of leading recruitment businesses choose to partner with SourceFlow. So SourceFlow are I guess a web development company, but we're a web development company that specializes solely in recruitment in the recruitment industry, and we're one that really sort of is set to drive candidate and client acquisition right the way through to revenue. So by giving you the tools and the ability not just to understand how your website is performing from a click level, but actually from a revenue generating level. Okay, so let me talk to you a little bit about sort of really what we provide. So we're a platform play. We're a digital experience platform built specifically for the recruitment industry, as I said before, with a core focus on driving growth. We have been in business around 3 years. We power 230 websites across the globe, across 185 different businesses. We have 70% of our roadmap, which is inspired by our customers. So we run customer focus groups. We usually sort of put 10 or 20 different customers into a room and we sit down and we talk about the products, we talk about the services that we provide and how that we can actually improve that for them. So we're very much led by the customer, whilst at the same time creating innovation via our in-house engineering team. Um, One of the things that's a real focus for SourceFlow is customer experience, and something that when we set up the business, we really wanted to nail from day one. So support is actually the largest part of our business, from the support team, the CS team. And over the course of the last 3 years, we've had 80% of the tickets that we've closed, or 80% of the engagements that we've had with our customers, have rated us as a 6 out of 7. So basically, it means that 87% of the customers that we work with are saying that they're having an excellent experience. However, when we get on to the next slide, we'll talk about a little bit more about retention rate. So every time I go to click here, it sends me through to a different page. So, firstly, how is SourceFlow different? Well, um, we're sort of a hybrid, really, I guess, between a software business and a digital agency. We don't provide templates. We don't provide websites that will look like somebody else's. Every site is lovingly crafted by the digital design team that we have in-house. So from the initial onboarding stage, right the way through the design stage, right the way through the development stage, the designs that you see online are absolutely in line with your brand. And as we know, brand is a massive, massive, massive differentiator in the industry. We have proprietary tech, and it's built solely for recruitment. We don't use open source tech like WordPress or Duda or any of the others that are readily available. And having proprietary tech allows us to innovate really, really quickly. So we've introduced over the course of the last, I think it's 12 months, we've introduced something like 220 updates. Some have been huge. So Page Builder, the ability to create pages from components that we've designed for you initially via the back end of the site. You can actually build campaign pages, landing pages, all SEO optimized. From our AI job search, which searches and matches or matches the right jobs to the right CVs when somebody goes to apply. So it actually reduces the amount of spam applications, but it also captures that data at the point of search. So you can actually see who's searching for jobs and receive those CVs even before they apply. So really cool. And one of the questions we typically ask our customers or prospects is how many placements did you make last year from candidates that didn't apply on your website? And the answer is always zero. Well, this actually gives you the ability to be able to make placements from people that never applied to the website but have searched for jobs. So really cool. And that data is then fed straight back into your ATS or into your CRM. We run a headless decoupled platform, so the front end of the websites is completely detached from the back end. Well, why does that matter? Well, it matters for a number of reasons. First, for page speed. So the sites are rapidly quick, not just for the search engines, but also for the users as well. And that in turn aids search engine optimization or benefit. So nowadays, I think with the search engines changing their algorithms so frequently, speed is one of the core updates relatively recently, where if your website is running slow, it means that you're not going to be necessarily found in the search engines quite as well as people that have a decoupled or headless CMS system. Our job search is powered by Google Talent Cloud. But Google Talent Cloud is essentially the underlying code architecture which powers Google for Jobs. And so it allows you to find jobs accurately. It allows candidates to search by keyword, by location. It will recognize spelling mistakes or typos or acronyms. So it's about putting the jobs faster and easier into the candidate's hands and allowing them to actually serve themselves with the right information very, very quickly. And we also provide full candidate and client integrations with many of the leading CRMs. So it's not just about getting candidate data into your website, into your CRM. It's also about getting the client data into your CRM. One of the things that a lot of people focus on with recruitment sites is obviously the candidate application piece, trying to drive candidate acquisition. Clients has become, over the course of the last couple of years, obviously a lot more important. They've always been important, but a lot more important in terms of generation of new business. And so from gated content or salary surveys or from anything that you're putting online that has an element of gatedness, so having a form on that page, we can take that data and send that data directly into CRM and create a new client contact, a new company account, and also create a lead that sits in there before it actually goes into the salespeople's hands. So a really good way of making sure that you're creating ownership of all of the leads that are flowing through your website so they don't go missing, essentially. And as a leadership team, we've been in the industry, the recruitment industry myself, for 20 years, but almost all of our senior leadership team have worked either in direct recruitment or have worked in rec tech. So that goes back to running a previous business that we actually sold back in 2019 to obviously launching SourceFlow nearly 4 years ago now. And we have award-winning, industry-leading UK-based telephone support for all of our customers. So you can pick up the phone to us at any one time. We're always happy to help. Along with the UK-based telephone support, there is regular CS check-ins where we'll talk about the performance of your site, how we can help you generate better results, whilst also having a ticket system which is logged and supported by the support team. Okay, so I mentioned that we have around about 230 recruitment websites live today. A lot of those recruitment websites are for slightly larger businesses. However, we're also able to work with many of the smaller businesses through a very different product set, which we launched to the market around about 6 months ago. It's essentially providing the same level of technology, but a slightly scaled back version. And we've seen tremendous amounts of inquiries on this. I think it's always good to know when you're working with a vendor that they have the capability to work with some of the largest as well. So you get an enterprise-grade technology used by some of the world's largest recruitment businesses available in your hands as well for even the smaller of recruitment organizations across the UK and Europe. And people that typically use SourceFlow, they stay with SourceFlow. We have a 99% retention rate. And that means that people are renewing with us every time we get to a contract end. Unlike others, we're given 30-day contracts. We don't because we understand the need for actually having somebody on hand all of the time, working for the money, making sure that we're always working with you as a partnership. But out of the contracts, we have a 99% renewal rate, which is absolutely unbelievable and something that I'm very proud of. And I think that goes back to what I was saying previously about having A-star support and ensuring that if we support our customers in the right way, if we provide the right level of technology, that people inevitably stay. As I mentioned earlier on in one of the slides, we have integrations with many of the leading recruitment CRM systems. There's a number of them that are running across the top, along with all the ATS systems and a number of other platforms as well. We're not just here to just send data back into a CRM. We want to make sure that we're sending the right data back into the CRM. So whether that's from tracking candidate journeys or client journeys through the website and enabling your sales team to actually have a better insight from the data that we're collecting to make much more informed decisions, and basically elevate the conversations that they're having with their candidates and clients, or whether that's from ensuring that we're mapping every field to ensure that they're able to come up in searches more efficiently, or whether or not it's because you're wanting to use automation off of the back of it, and every data point allows you to have a much better automated experience. We talked about client lead generation, and our new unique end-to-end funnels basically allows the client lead flow to go from SourceFlow into your CRM, and that is also exactly the same. So we're going to track the source attribution. We're talking about not just has it come from a website, but the actual referring source. So things like LinkedIn, like Twitter, like automation, like Pager. People, obviously, a number of our clients are using Pager, and it allows you then to make sure that when you are getting leads or you are getting candidates, you can see exactly the channel that drove that engagement. And we recently released something called revenue reporting, so essentially showing you the money. So once we have sent the data into your CRM, once we have captured the source attribution and the campaign attribution, what we are then able to do is actually pull back any placements that are related to those sources and create revenue reports for your team to see exactly the amount of money that you are making to a pounds and pence level that you are making from the channels that you're using to drive engagement. So historically, it had been a case that sort of marketing teams or recruitment business leaders would judge their performance on, are they generating candidate applications, you know, the vanity metrics. And businesses don't succeed by vanity metrics alone. And so a lot of our customers, we've listened to them and they were saying one of the things that we were really challenged with is actually seeing the value of the marketing activities that we're doing. And they don't just mean value by how many people have clicked on a LinkedIn post or how much traffic have we had from X or from Y or from actually X or from Y or Facebook or Twitter or an email marketing campaign. If you run an email marketing campaign now, and the website then starts to attract the traffic off the back of it, whether that's clients or whether that's candidates, we send in that data back into the CRM. And then when there's a placement made on the CRM, we're pulling that data back and creating a view where you can actually see the amount of money that's being made from a placement of that particular candidate that we've attracted or that particular client that you've gone on then to make a placement with. So it's actually really just showing you the end to end. It's giving you that full 360 where you're not working in silos and you are actually able to start to invest money in the right places because it is one that is driving revenue into your business. So couple of case studies. Maxwell Bond are a client of ours. They joined us a number of years ago when we first started working with them. Their website was with another provider, obviously. They moved to us. We reimagined their brand. We built them what we see as one of the sort of the UK's leading recruitment websites now. And they saw that their average engagement time went up by over 683%. I mean, it's staggering. And with that engagement, we're now able to show them exactly what's leading now to the revenue point as well. So it's not just a case of throwing up a website. It's not just a case of creating the engagement. It's a case of then, like I said earlier on the earlier slide, ensuring that it's making you money. That's what we all want to do as recruiters, don't we? We always want to make money. So everything that we're spending, everything that we're doing, we can drive it back to the pounds and pence. And another one, just to talk about sort of the delivery experience that you can have with SourceFlow. So one of our clients, SGI, and actually one of our very early clients, they mentioned they felt that SourceFlow were a really extension of their team and still are. We work with them very closely in the same way that we work with every customer. So it's not just a case of us taking an order. We want to give you an absolutely fantastic experience and feel that we're ingrained into your organization. We're very much part of it on a day-to-day. And a couple of other testimonials from a few other businesses. One just talking about the experience of obviously going through the delivery, but another talking about the actual platform itself. So the user-friendly navigation of the back end, it's easy for them to edit and change content. The fact that they've been impressed by the speed of the support that they're getting through us as well. And I think that's key. We talk about Can we provide a good recruitment website? We do. Can we provide the revenue analytics, which we do to understand pounds and pence? Can we provide a really high performing infrastructure for our clients? Can we integrate it into the various different ATSs? Yes. But it's also about how we look after the clients thereafter. And that is, like I said on very earlier on, is a huge focus for our business. One of the things when we set up SourceFlow, and one of the things that I shouted from the rooftops about is we wanted a 95% referenceable customer base. Now, that was a bit of a BHAG, a bit of a big, hairy, ambitious goal, but I'm pleased to say that we're pretty much there. We are pretty much there, and I'd like to think you could reach out to any single one of our customers, and they would give you a glowing report. And that's hard. That's the hard yards that I think that people don't see that from the front end of an organization that you do get to experience when you are a partner of ours.
Can I chip in there a little bit, Darren? I know you've
Of
only got
course.
1 minute. We've got to move on to our next person on the agenda. But I'm a judge for the Global Recruiter Awards, have been for the last couple of years, and the OnRec Awards.
Yeah.
The categories that I was given last year there was a phenomenal amount of SourceFlow customers in the categories. One of the categories I had was best website.
Yeah.
And there was a phenomenal amount, and it was I couldn't believe it when I went through it. It was almost all of them. So great. And obviously, I'm not sponsored by this, and I'm just being completely honest with what I've gone through. But yeah, there's some amazing websites that I've seen that you and your team have put together and run.
I think it was Acre, Andy, that won that, if I remember rightly. That won that category, but that's me trying to drag it out from the back of my memory. But yeah, we're very proud. Like I say, we're very proud. We're proud of this business. We're proud of the businesses that work with us, and the awards for our clients are by proxy seen as awards for us in my mind, and we celebrate
Yeah.
those successes. So yeah, thank you for that. Yeah, it's a good thing to bring up.
Welcome. Well, we're going to need to wrap there, Darren, but obviously your contact details are in the chat. Everyone make sure that you connect up with Darren, take a look, book a demo of SourceFlow, and this video, as with the others, will be saved and put into the Team Hub imminently. So just going to stop recording now.